All right, Doc, a little late, but here I am. I looked up and there was the clock, and it was like, oh no, where did the time go? Just trying to fix everything from being off for 3 days. It's amazing. Anyhow, take a look at it all, see what's going on this morning. Let's run over to the dollar index maybe now. I remember on yesterday we tried to do the dollar index and there was no dollar index. And there they are today. Let's see if it's updating on a day-to-day basis again. They are taking a little slow there. There we go, the 27th. You can see this. This is the daily. You can see the pressure, that slow, long slide. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening after the holiday, or the beginning of the holidays, because we got the New Year's to kick out. That's the next adventure we have going on. There's some that do all kinds of other types of Christmases, and there's Kwanzaa and so forth and so on. So we're going to be dancing along slow and steady. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Now, this last week of the year, sometimes they like to do what they call window dressing. They try to make it look like things are okay. Don't worry. Life is, the markets are fine. That's what they try to show you. All of a sudden they're firm. Like this morning, the Dow's been up about 200 points off and on throughout the night, and now it's the same way as we speak. Oop, there's Robin. Hey, Robin, how you doing?
Yo, I have an idea.
Okay.
Take a picture of one of the emails. You don't have the emails the way I send them, do you?
Nah.
With Chicago Quant on them?
You know what? Do this. CC me in on each one of them.
Well, I'll just CC you for one.
Oh, okay. Do that then.
Okay.
Okay.
When it comes, and you can show people, say, hey, this is the way we send them out twice a day.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. No problem.
You started the show already, yeah?
Bingo.
All right.
Okie dokes.
This pain is getting worse.
I hear you. Hang tough.
I'm here.
Okay. So anyway, there's Robin. And we are marching along slow and steady and trying to be organized. That's what we're trying to do. The holidays can do that to you. They turn things into a fiasco. Let me go to the chat line too. I haven't even looked at the chat line. Let's move that over like that. Let's double click on that. I am streaming. Yeah, I am streaming. Okay, just double checking here. And there's the chat line. I see it now. Okay, so it's empty. Empty. People are still trying to get their game together for the holidays. There's the chat line. I see it now. Okay, so it's empty. Okay. So what do we got here? There's that. We got to go to that. Okay, and so you can see that. Oh, we were looking at the South African rand yesterday. I guess that's how we ended it yesterday on some level or another. So let's get the dollar index up there now. There's the euro and the dollar index right there, and there you go. You can see just that long, week of sideways action where they just cannot. There's no. We used to. I haven't used these words in a while on this webinar. Conviction. There's no real conviction. It's money is not like rushing towards one direction or the other when it comes to the currencies itself. It's just been sideways for over a week now. You can see how tight it's been. Look how tight that's been. The holidays have basically, put the markets into that slow, steady, slide, I guess you could call it. So, kind of that's where it stands at the moment. And maybe they'll start to break out. Maybe they won't. Maybe it'll take another couple days. Maybe we'll need to get to the first of the year before money really has the magical word again, and that is conviction to step up and get long or get short or do something, something of that nature. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is that there's no real heavy conviction to just jump in on any of these products at the moment. They're just, any of the currency products. The stock market, obviously, interest rates, obviously, they're moving, and they're not paying attention to the fact of the end of the year too much. And the only reason I believe we're starting to see a little firming up for the window dressing is I don't think there's any real sellers left out there for the moment. Maybe at the beginning of the new year in 8 days, but or 7 days, but right now it doesn't have that look to it like there's any real conviction to do anything. I know it's kind of early to say on the one day after the holiday, but it does have that look to it right off. It does. So, and I'm talking about the currencies constantly. We're discussing the currencies here at this minute. We can get back. Well, we will look at the other products. Like we can see oil, they have conviction. They are buying them at the moment. That's what's really going on there, and we'll take a look at that after we go through some of the currencies. Unless someone says, "Hey, Doc, I'd like to look at the energies right at this moment in time," and I'd go, "Sure, no problem. Let's check them out." So that's where we stand at the moment. Yeah. All right. From there, we'll go over to the euro. Euro. Where are you, euro? There it is. There's the euro, and you can see that drifting. It's pushing into. You can see it's trying to push into the buy here. We've got something going on here. That was well, I see. That's yesterday. The currency is definitely reflecting that yesterday action. So, I guess what we'll do is we'll have to, looks like it's pushed itself into the buy in a quiet Monday, and we'll call it a buy because that's what it is. It's a buy now. That's what. We can't debate the thing. We just have to read the numbers, and as they say in poker or cards, read the cards and weep. And so that's where we are at the moment with that product. Let's see. There we are. Hey, Robin. It is quiet this morning, obviously. Not much action. Very few of us on the screen. We can't. Sometimes there's people on here we can't see, so it's kind of hard to tell if there's nobody. It's just us two, or they have their system turned off where we can't see them. It's one or the other at this point. What else can we say about any of this here? There's the euro, as I said. You can see the weekly has been holding up really nice, but they have become very flatlined. The products are not digging in and taking off and flying. It's just not there. Here comes 14 as I speak. Oh, there we go. There's Kimbo. Hey, Kimbo. Weekly. What's weekly? Weekly time frame. Yeah, I mean, let's see. We had, we're going to be, the markets will be open till Friday. And I believe the U.S. markets will be closed, so forth and so on. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. All right. So weekly time frame. Oh, what about the weekly? You mean which product do you want to see the weekly time frame in? What are you looking for? What happens? The weekly changes each day. Is that what you're asking? So the weekly changes each day, obviously. In this case here, let's move that line up a little bit more like that to the zero line. And so it's adjusting, and sometimes it jumps into a weekly buy especially when the like right here. Let's show you what I'm thinking. Maybe this is what you're asking. It confirms the close there. Once it gets past the time manifold in the week, the chances of it going back down underneath it are very rare. It usually stays in that buy the rest of the week. We put a line at the end of the week to confirm that it closed in the week, just like we do on the dailies. We confirm the end of the daily on the beginning of the daily. If it's like here, well, yesterday the green line would have been up here, and by the end of the day, we put it in the center with the algorithm itself. Does that make some sense to you now? Let's see. I just want to check one more thing here. I want to go back to the euro on this screen here. Where's the euro at? There it is. There's the euro. So, yeah, it's like there. Let's fix that and put this in here. change it to green and do the whole thing like that. There we are. So, does that make sense to you when you ask about the weekly time frame itself? We'll wait and we'll just keep on rolling along, and I'll point out different aspects of the weekly system as we as I go until you ask the question in a different way or a new way or something like that. All right, what do we got here? Let's go over to the cable. Cable sent. Right there. There we are. And you can see cable looking. No, that's not cable. There's cable. You see cable trying to do the same thing, but not. You know, it's down. And the weekly, as you can see. Hey, Robin.
Yeah, I'm going back to lay down if that's the end.
No, I got two more for you. Here they come. And so the in this case here, you can see the weekly is breaking underneath the zero line right from the beginning of the day, the beginning of the week now at this point. So that is the action we're seeing here. There we are, and you can see at the same time the there we are. You can see the daily has been in the sell for a while. It's been pressing into the daily sell now for weeks, you know, literally weeks at this point. So that is the way, you know. Now tomorrow, let's say they start to lift this product up today. Chances are you'll see it, you know, go back above the zero line. And what we usually do is we put a little circly thing in here like that. And we make it pink just like we would when it goes into the cell. And that reminds you that the pressure is on the product itself. And it's trying to press down. And so that's what we do to that. Does that make any sense to you? And Robin, one more and we're out of here. There you go. Oh, lost the connection there. Let's put that back up there again. There we are. Let's switch over to there. There we go. So there you can see it right there, that little warning sign that we're getting into a weekly sell, but we're not there yet. Now, if it breaks the manifold during this week, we know that it's definitely going to be in a weekly sell. You know, we know it's not going to find a way of turning around. It rarely does that. So that's the way it usually works, and that's the way we see it. Oh, I know what. Let me do this for Robin. I got one more thing to do for Robin. Let's get this done. Let's get this done. Done. The 10-year right there. And then Sui meal. Let's get Sui meal in there. Right there. And then, let me just double check the Sui meal. I just want to make sure I saved it right. Let's see, where am I at? There is Sui meal. Let's go to Sui meal real quick. And there is Sui meal. I fixed it, but I don't remember saving it. There we are. Sui meal, like so. There we are. Now I can put the Sui meal in there. So that is what I have to say about the time frame. And then let me do this. Let's go to the stock and close out. I just need to do two things in stock for Robin, and we're done, and he's done. And he can go lay down. Let's see, where's it at? There's Apple. And you can see Apple trying to lift up this morning. It's making an attempt. That's the warning that it's going through the buy side. I put it up top. If it closes there today, then it'll be back below that. You know, in other words, we'll put it on the algorithm itself. Apple, saved. And then last one I need to save is the S&P for Robin. And then we are good. Good, good, good. And as you can see, the S&P stock index itself is showing pressure on the downside. It's not too happy still. Even with all the strength that we've been seeing, it's still not doing it. It's just not. The stock index itself is trying, but there's a lot of noise, a lot of noise. Okay, Robin, there it is. It's out into the World Wide Web, and so you'll be seeing that, and then you can crash. How's that sound? There we go. All right, and I can close. I'm not even going to close that. I'm just going to run back over to the currencies right there. And let's jump over onto the Swiss. And the Swiss, you can see that, it's been in a weekly sell all the way back here. I'm not sure why I'm running the line up and down. Let's just go like that with it. Now I know why. Okay, there we are. So pretty much went into the sell there. And then it went into the buy there. Somehow or another, we're not updating that. I guess the holidays really swallowed everything up. And it's in a buy for 3 days. And then you can see the Swiss is trying to roll over again today, right here. So we would take the red line, stick it up top here like that. And so it's pressing. It's underneath the 0 line. It's trying to break down. And we've been in that long weekly sell at the same time. And over here on J4X, now that I'm not doing 3 things at once, we will go take a look at Swiss on J4X. And there it is right there. Same situation. Pressure's on the daily. You can see it right there, the red hinky. The green line is trading at 71. The dashed line is trading at 69. So it's still holding up here. It hasn't given the confirm on this yet, but wouldn't be surprised in 2 hours or so it'll join in with us. Something like that, an hour and a half, 2 hours. All right. And then from there, we slide over to the yen. Right there. And you can see it's kind of put an interesting little drift has been going on for the last couple of days after that big sell down. And you can see we're in the weekly buy. I'm sorry, weekly sell. We're in the weekly sell. Oh, no, I see. That's cancel. This should be moved over like that. There we are. And then there's the buy. So it's in a daily buy now, going on to a third day. Remember, currencies were trading actively yesterday, and when we did the webinar, you were seeing them actively traded. I think I'll have a cup of my tea. Let's take a sip. That feels good. All right, and then from the yen, we slide over to the Turkish lira. They had another volatility day yesterday. So we thought that was volatility. Look at this. The range in this was over. Oh no, this was they accentuated it even more by the end of the day. In the beginning of the day, it was 50, but by the end of the day, the width of the market from the low to the high was 63. When we were doing the webinar, it was 50. But they then somebody obviously came in. They wanted to buy it, and there's no inventory, so they can't sell it. Oh, what's this week time frame, brother? What's that? What's this? I saw that and then it disappeared. What happened on the chat line? That just disappeared. I don't understand. I just saw that pop up on the chat line and it disappeared. Let me see if I can slide down to it. I don't even see it. I guess you removed it off the chat line. That's what it was. Well, you can try typing it in again and we'll try to answer your question there. And then yesterday, obviously, at the same time, they put the Turkish lira back into the daily buy. And it's higher today for the moment. And you can see it's been in that long, steady weekly buy now for, I don't know, since what's that? That's since October. Since this last 2 weeks in October, it's been in a buy. It doesn't seem to be letting go. So what's that? That's 5 right there. That's 5 weeks. There's another 5 weeks. This is the 11th week in a buy. So they're not backing off on this situation, and it's so hard to say what is going on there to begin with. I mean, There's not a lot of clarity at all. Just that it's becoming liquid, which is kind of surprising because they did a really fine job of keeping it liquid throughout that the whole chaos of going from one one to one Turkish lira to €1. Now we're looking at it, and it's it's €1 to almost 20 Turkish lira. I mean, talk about. You would think that would be in the news more of anything else. What a, Western nation. I think they're even in the OECD. And so the developed nations, and their currency has gone totally awry. I guess free speech anymore just doesn't seem to be free speech. I think that's what unfortunately seems to be the problem out of it all. So, all right, and 3, 4, 5. I'm just double checking all the stuff I sent Robin. 8, 9, 10. What was Lance's? Lance's 12. Okay, so that's what that is. All right. All right, there we go. All right, from there, we drift over to the two currencies that have seem to reflect the actions of a commodity. In this case here, it's doing it fine this morning. You can see Canadian's been moving down the last couple of days, and you can see it's back into a sell. Right. Let's do that again. Right there. So last Friday it went into the sell. It's still in the sell. The weekly itself is having its issues. It's still in the buy. But at least it's underneath the histogram is underneath the manifold, that's for sure. There we go. Like to see, you can see the blue, the faster line is moving underneath already. It's showing that there's some real weakness trying to develop. Let's save this. Save workspace. And then obviously we can go right over to J4X and stick up the the regular crude oil right there. And you'll see the crude oil is moving up on the daily, just as it's moving. The Canadian is moving down. And when it goes down, it's gaining against the dollar. That's what that means. It's just like the same thing with the Swiss franc. Dollar Swiss franc, when it's going down, it's gaining against the dollar. So the dollar is losing value. And then we can reverse it here. We can put it up on J4X. And there is CAD right there. You see, that 3-day move down, like here, the red. And then we go over here, and we can put up the crude oil. There's the crude oil. It's moving up. 3 greens moving up. And we had a volatility signal of a green and a red, reminding us that the action is there. All right, and then what we do is we reverse it out. Let's go to gold. We'll put gold up here. There's gold. Gold is trying to lift up today. That's kind of cool after a couple days down. And then over here, we will go to the South African Rand. And you'll see in the triangle, like right at the very beginning of the webinar today, I said it drifted underneath, and now out of nowhere, look at that, it's popping back up again. So there's the volatility signal. This is moving up. You got this right there. You can see it's trying to get through the 0 line. And so when we go over to gold here, we will see, we'll see what gold is doing, but it sounds like it might be moving down at the moment. No, it's holding up. That's interesting. So chances are this is going to roll over. Wouldn't surprise me by the end of the webinar, or over the next 3 or 4 hours, we find a gold that goes into the minus. And you can see we're getting a red and a green warning here. We're in the daily sell, and it's not lifting. See, the internals are still saying, nope, not interested on this little move on the upside. It's basically saying don't pay attention to it because it's not real. That's what it's really trying to tell us. And usually the currency has been just beautiful, giving us clear indications of what's going on. But with this politics problem, that's really shaking things up. That is really, so we don't, we saw this happen. Let's go over to the currency again. We saw this happen, and that's why we label it politics and a triangle, because something's going on here politically. They found the president of the country accidentally dropped $520,000 in his sofa. The big sofa you sit on in the office, and the policia came in and they were checking his office and they found $520,000 sitting underneath the cushion. And so they thought that's what this movement was here. They thought, oh, well, he'll resign. But he didn't. And basically he's been telling the country, no need for me to resign. I didn't do anything wrong. Someone dropped $520,000 out of their pocket into the sofa with some coins, and I have nothing to do with it. It wasn't in my pocket. That's pretty much what he's saying. Not my pocket, so why are you bothering me? So that's what the problem is right here, right now, is that we got politics tangling up the trade between gold and the currency itself. All right, and then from there we drift over to the Mexican peso. Mexican peso is just hovering underneath the range again. This may be a sign of some good tidings ahead. We'll see. It's been in the daily sell since right here. In other words, this is also works the same way like the Swiss franc and the yen. When this is going down, the dollar is losing money. That's what that's all about. Now look at that. That went into the sell last week. And now it's bouncing up today, trying to get back into the buy. Interesting. There it is. And you see here it's trying to get into the buy. So what we usually do is we do this little circly thing and go like that. And if this thing, busts through the manifold, then more than likely it'll start to turn back up again. I have my doubts. I'm wondering if it's drifting down because the Congress being changed in this time next week, is it? I guess what we see. The first is what? Sunday, right? Let me just double check here, but I think that's how that plays out. So the first is Sunday, and then we're closed on Tuesday, and the Congress changes to the Republicans on Tuesday of next week. So I thought it read the election very well, the Mexican peso, because the country's under a lot of pressure from the Biden administration's policies. So it doesn't surprise me that it's trying to gain against the dollar now because they're thinking that things are going to work out into their favor again. So that's good. All right, that completes the currencies unless someone says, hey, I want to see something, and then we'll go back to it. But if not, then we'll just keep on rolling along. In this case here, we take a look at the metals complex since that's where we left off. Let's go over to that. So there is, right there, there's the gold. You can see gold is acting much better than the currency is. And let's see what silver's doing. There's silver. Let's put silver up on the screen also. You can see here gold on J4X on the daily is trading at 44, and the dash line is at 54. So it's underneath, and so that's usually let's move this up like that. So that's a sign that there's weakness coming. The only difference is this histogram, not the histogram, the Hinky-Ashki is green. In this case here, we're below. You can see that we're below, and you can see we have a red and green, so you can't get into a buy because of the two reasons besides red and green and red, but we're still underneath the minus line. You can see it's minus there by very little, but it's still minus. There we are. Let's save that. There we are. And that is pretty much the action. Let's take a look at silver over here on J4X, and there it is right there. You see it's doing the same. It's got this big pop going on. It's trading at 24s, 2408 at 11. Let's see what it looks like. There it is right there. You can see this is the March contract, so it's trading at a higher price because there's a premium in there, but it's doing the same thing. It's got that pressure. It's underneath the zero line, and it's a green and a red, but it's still up. You know, you can see it's up higher than what it closed at on the 23rd. And it's in that long weekly buy, just like gold. You know, you can see it here. It's been in a weekly buy now for a while. Right there. See that pressure on it. It's been just climbing. And we figured that it's going to find a way to climb. We keep on thinking it wants to climb, so we keep on expecting it to climb. Because our math keeps on telling us over and over again. Look the way the green line is and the histograms are from the zero line down here on the weekly. It doesn't care. It just seems to be staying up in here, and when it does challenge it right there, it finds a way to bounce and go up in value again. And there's a $2 between that line and that line, so it tells us that, you know, there's a little good buying coming in. There's some strength we're seeing. And then we tune in. We talked about it yesterday. You know, the copper. There's the copper action. Copper. Oh, nice wild spike today. I like that. Look at that. The high today was 94, 394, and you can see it's trying to get into the buy. We've kind of moved into that odd position of green and red. We'll see. You know, it's in that long weekly. You see that there also. So maybe this is they supposedly they're opening up China. That's what they say. They're opening up China. I don't know what that means really, because I think China needs a lot more opening up than what they're really going to do. But end result is that people are hoping that China starts to open up its economy again. I'm not really sure how well it can do it. That's the thing. I really don't. It's hard to say. It really is hard to say how well they can open up their economy. All right, another sip of the tea there. And then let's see what Platinum's doing. Platinum didn't make it into the weekly buy last week. At least I don't believe it did. So it was a little disappointing. It's a January contract. Oh, no, it did. It got back into the weekly buy last week. Okay, good. That's what we were hoping for strength in the metals complex. That's makes me feel a lot better. Let's do that one. And let's do that one right there. So it went into the weekly sell the week before. There it is. And there it is right there. So, and it's back up. We thought that we'd get back into the buy if it got up to the 50, but obviously it didn't take it that much either. It got up to the 35 and pushed it into the weekly buy. A couple of days of that in a row, and then this morning, is that this morning? Yeah, that's this morning. They've got it up to 43. Let's save that. So that basically says maybe what we're seeing when we see gold in the plus, now that I see platinum in the plus, that it's probably politics that's having an effect on the currency. And unfortunately, that seems to be what's going to go on for a little while now. We're going to be stuck with South African politics. I guess that what they really have to do is they have to figure out whose $520,000 is sitting in the president's sofa. I guess they could take a look at the schedule and see who came in last, and they could give them back their $520,000 that fell out of their pocket. And that's what the president's saying. It's like, it's not my money. I don't know what's going on there. So, some people, when you sit on a sofa, sometimes things fall out of your pockets. I know that happened to Mrs. Yellen, and it happened to Mr. Bernanke. They found billions sitting in the sofa. I think it was in the sofa. They found billions, not millions or hundreds of thousands. They found billions. Like $2 billion accidentally was just sitting there. Isn't it amazing? What a strange world economy we're in anymore. It's like a cartoon. All right. As I take a sip of my tea and chew on a pretzel. There we go. Now we go over to, that's all the metals. So let's go over and take a look at the energies. And there's FedEd. There's the Fed. It was higher this morning. Still looking very good though. In a buy for 3 days. Let's take a look at it over here on, well, you can see here the weekly. It closed in a weekly buy last week, right there. And let's take a look at the crude oil over on J4X. First, we'll look at Brent on there. There's Brent right there. Brent's trading at 84. It's inching its way up. There's some buying going on. That's nice. And you can see today the weekly in the Feb contract, and let's take a look at there's the back month, the April contract, all looking very firm. It's looking even more firm. What's that? 79.92. What's the contango? And 80. Oh no, we're 79.89. So the contango's flipped again. So we have the back month trading at a higher price than the front month. It's trading at 79.92, and you can see the back month of April is trading at 79.97. So we got that. It's been pretty much almost at parity with each other, back and forth, up or down 25 cents. In this case here, it's up 6 cents. And we closed in that weekly buy last week, and it's doing its best to stay very, very firm right there. And then we go over to the natural gas right there. And there's natural gas, and let's see what it looks like here on J4X. Nat gas. Right there, U.S. gas. Trading, it's over 5 a cubic foot. They're lifting it up a little bit. No, 520. What is that? That is gas. And this is January natural gas. Right there. And they may, oh, I see, it's 5. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like 5.1. That's what it is, 5.2. That's what it's playing with. So when it goes like right there, the bid 5.103, or you can see the offer at 18.9 basically. It's trading here at 23. You can see it's pretty much very, like right on top of each other. Like that 5.10 is really like, I guess like 5.20. Is that what that is? I guess it has to go to 99 to make it 520. So nat gas in the States, you can see here it's been in that weekly sell now, right here, for is that 3 weeks? Let's just double check that. Oh, I see. There's the line. So closed in a buy there. Fell right back into the sell, and overall, it's been feeling that pressure. Let's see if we can find it right there. A lot of pressure on this product. So, in essence, let's see, where's that? Let's move the line back up again, like so. There it is. You can see we've been in a weekly sell in that product since late August. Is that right? No, September, mid-September. We've been in the sell there since mid-September, right there. Let's move that up again, like so. You see it right there. And so it's only been 1 week out of all those weeks. So we went 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 weeks in a sell, goes into a buy, and then rolls over again. And now we have another 5 weeks. We're in the 5th week now again. So something like 16 weeks almost. 15 out of 16 weeks it's been in a sell. You can see the daily sell is right there. It's been in that daily sell also for 2, 4, 6. This is the 8th day in a daily sell. And that's kind of interesting in its own right, solely because we have like record cold temperatures here in the States. Record cold temperatures because of the global cooling that's been going on for the last century. And you can see that we keep on getting these flash freezes. It was very strange. We got hit with a flash freeze. It was like something out of a movie where everything just froze. Doors and everything, just everywhere. Car doors, house doors. It was like a massive, fast flash freeze out of nowhere. we're basically hearing from NASA and other scientists around the world. They think what it really comes down to is it's not that the sun has gotten more powerful to do that. What it is that the electromagnetic field now is down almost 30%. So we've lost a lot of our defensive shield around the Earth. We're down 30% over the last 50 years. So that's the pressure we're seeing. And you would think nat gas would be lifting, but it's not lifting. It seems to be, dropping. Now, let's see what the European natural gas is doing. The only way we can really visualize that is we go over to the oil company down in Spain that trades it, and we see the profit margin to it. It's been trading in the 25, so let's see where it's at now. There's almost heading for the 24 area, 25.08 bid. And you can see it's vacillating back and forth, but making lower lows. So natural gas in Europe must be coming down in price. We saw California was trading at the same price as Europe, like $30-$31 a cubic foot for a while there. California is trying to become Europe. They want to be Europe. They want to be like a little socialist state, We'll see. It does seem kind of crazy. Anyway, that's the rest of the country here was paying $5 and $6 a cubic foot, and California has changed the laws there. Matter of fact, you're not even going to be allowed to buy automobiles that are powered by gas anymore there. They're all going to have to be powered by electric. But at the same time, they've stopped people from charging their cars during the day. They're only allowed to charge them at night. So it's going to be, a lot of people are going to be sitting at home doing nothing. Maybe making babies. Maybe it'll be tons of babies being born or something. Who knows? All right. From there, what else we got going on there? That's the energy sector. So let's take a look at the stock indices. And there is, let's take a quick look like that. There we go. Now what's going on there? They're not updating it. That was the 26, so I guess I just have to change the, is it like that maybe? Default? Let's see what that does. Does that update it? Let's see if that, there you go, there it updates it. So there's the S&P 500. You see it got up to about the 3,900 area twice overnight and then failed. And then European markets opened up, and then they've sold it down, and it seems to be bouncing between the ranges that we've identified. And we'll see how that's going. Now that's just the raw look at it. Let's take a look at the daily at it. And there's the daily. You can see it's still higher. And you can see here we went into a buy on Friday, but we're in that weekly sell now for starting the third week in a weekly sell. So we've been in a weekly sell since the 4,000 area, and they took it down to the 3,800 area. So it was a 200-point drop in this product from 4,000 down to 3,800. Now it's kind of trapped in the middle, playing with that 39 area for the last 3 out of 4 days. And then we drift over to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We'll take a look at that. Open there, and we'll go like this. There we are. And there's the Dow Jones, the March contract. You can see it's lifting up. It's been in a buy, on a daily buy for 4 days now. But it's in a weekly also the same way. This is the third week on the sell side. So this is becoming the horse race that we know, It just doesn't seem to be letting go. But it is taking off through the lines, which is interesting. And if they keep on lifting in here, like I said, I think it has that feel like it's window dressing. I don't see, they're not trading heavy. That's what we refer to it a lot of times when you're watching during the intraday. We could do a whole webinar just literally on something trading heavy versus trading light, or, there's buyers versus sellers type of thing. In this case here, it doesn't seem like it's trading heavy. So no, it doesn't seem like the sellers are out there at the moment. They may just called it quits for the year. In other words, they need that window dressing now. They want that window dressing. They've bought at lower areas or lowered their average. So, that's the the desire right now. I think that's the best way of describing it. It wants to, it wants to turn up a little bit for the next couple of days, and you have only 4 days, so it's not that hard to do some window dressing when no one cares. All right, and then we'll go take a look at. Let's close that. Oh no, we'll just go take a look at the Tech 100. There's the Tech 100. And you can see it's trying to pop up also. It's been in the sell for a week and a half now, since basically the 15th. There's the 16th, and then it was 1 week, and then last week, and now it's starting this. So it's like 8 days now in a sell. You can see we've been in a weekly sell from there. You can see, let's put that line in there. So we've been in a weekly sell since there. Oh, no, cancel that. There we go, that's better. Pink and the line. There we are. So, like the other two stock indices, it's just cruising along in that low situation. And then I think I accidentally deleted something. It was having problems. Let me see. I deleted the, so let me do this. Let's take a copy. Let's see, okay. Let's take a look at the Russell 2000. So we'll copy this, and then we'll paste it like that. And then we're going to put M2K in there. Let's see what's going on here. M2K, which is the Russell 2000. Instrument M2K3. There we are. And let's put the bottom, let's put the weekly in there too at the same time. M2. Okay, there we are. And you see same thing in a weekly sell for 3 weeks. You see the faster moving average is 4 weeks right there. You can see it's been in a daily sell back here, but that's interesting. They're doing the nibbling again as we talk about it. They popped it here. It's in the buy. Let's put that daily buy in there like so. Right there. There we are. And then let's see, how else is it playing out? Where's that? Oh, there it is. Okay. So it goes into the buy for 1 day right there. It pops hard. And the sell's there. And that buy is right. And the sell is right there. It's a good trading product, It really is. And the buy is there. And I think the sell is right here at the top more, like that, for that slide for 3 days. This product is a really good trading product. And then obviously the weekly sell is right there. And as you can see, let's go like this. There is that. And make it that way. And then here's a good example again. Once, okay, right there. Once the manifold has been breached, like right there, chances are it's going into the sell one way or the other. Sometimes it's a little bit earlier. It gets down that close, chances are it's very hard for it to change direction. That momentum is just, full force against it. All right. There we go. So there we are. There it is on the stock indices. Now we have one last product that we kind of relate to as a stock indice. And that is right here. Let's put it in. It's right there. It is the Bitcoin. The crypto acts like a currency. I'm sorry, it acts like a index. It acts like a it acts like anything it wants to act like. It acts like a currency. It acts like a crypto. It's a very volatile currency. Let's put it that way. And it makes It's like the Turkish lira. It's wild, but it acts like a wiring account too. You can move money without much problem. So it has all kinds of wonderful characteristics. But more than anything else, it seems to adhere to following in the footsteps of the stock indices. Now you can see here, it's a 1 week in a weekly sell, and you can see the product here is is trying to got into the sell. I guess it missed it. Did it get it in there? Yeah, it did. Is that a minus? No, it's not a minus. It's a plus. So it got into the sell right there, minus 1.67. And today it's trying to get back into the buy. And just like the stock indices, it's lifting up, not down. And ever since the FTX debacle, it's been parked here. It's been parked on the 16,000 area. So I imagine that a lot of traders or a lot of technicians or a lot of somebodies who are involved in this product must be looking at that 16,000 as really, really solid. And I think it is. Now, in a philosophical way, if there was no central banks, I would think that that's where gold would be today. I would think that's exactly where gold would be. I think in so many ways. Oh, that's another thing it acts like. It acts like the metals. It acts like, gold and silver. I think that it's telling us how important the metals complex is and how much influence the governments have over it. I think that's what it really comes down to. And the cryptos are a good example. When you think about it this way. Look at silver. Okay? Let's go find silver. I've never talked about this before in this fashion, but think about it. What is the all-time high of silver? It's like 50 something, right? Let's go find it over on J4X. I'm going to leave Bitcoin up on the screen right there. Okay? Now let's go find silver. And when you really look at the two charts, they are a lot alike. They are a lot alike. Okay? So in other words, let's go to a weekly. Let's see, where's it at? Where is XAG? There it is, right there. Okay. So then there's the week. Let's get the weekly in there. Like that. Really, when you really look at this product, there's the all-time highs, right? 53 or 54, something like that. It's traded down to 10. It lost 80% of its value. Okay. Now, let's see. I think they have Bitcoin in here. We could do it on the J4X too. They have Bitcoin in here also. There it is right there. There's Bitcoin. And when you look at this, and it was trading at all-time highs of 69,000, almost 70,000, and it drops to 16,000, that's basically the same percentage as silver. So silver and cryptos are a perfect example of silver is influenced by gold, and gold is controlled by the central banks, and cryptos are influenced by traders, and the central banks have a real hard time being involved in it. So in many ways, you could basically say is that it may be really reflecting more than anything else is that gold probably should be at worst 8,000. At worst, not at best. At worst, gold should be at 8,000. But do you understand? I've said this many a time. People just don't understand how much influence it would have on the funds, the mutual funds, the hedge funds, the retirement funds. If gold was trading at 8,000, their incorporated manifestos would have to change their portfolio to a dramatically different portfolio, which would hurt the stock markets. Okay? And the last thing that the Federal Reserve needs to do is hurt the stock markets. It's easy for them to hurt the metals market, but it's bad for them to hurt the stock market. If that stock market falls from where are we at now, 33, 34,000, right? If the Dow Jones Industrials fell down to like 14,000, there would be incredible calamity across the planet because people park short-term money in stock markets. So I've never really thought about it before, but I think it's very clear that the cryptos, and I've said this, that's why I'm a big fan of the cryptos. I know that the cryptos are doing these things, and today I finally have come to the conclusion that 16,000 is probably the floor. I doubt that you're going to see, 12,000 or 10,000. And even if you do, how bad is it when it was started off at $1? It just means it was overbought, and now it's just back. I think it's at basically fair value. That's what I think. I really do. I've been saying that for months now, that the 16 seems to be reflecting fair value. So, I think that we're going to call it quits here for today. We will catch everybody tomorrow a little bit more orderly and more coherently. And so, happy trails to you until we meet again, which will be Wednesday, middle of the week already. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, traders, have a good day, and we will catch you tomorrow. Doc, over and out.